It's been 1 year since the start of the build of my shared workshop. And just as I thought I was nearing the end, it dawned on me I was not 100% happy with it. Subsequently, this has brought us to where we are today, a workshop redesign. Righto, welcome to the first episode of 2023. So, first of all, thanks for tuning back in, and yeah, let's have a look at what we're doing this year. I think this year I really want to get this thing looking next level. So, I think I've had enough time in it to work out exactly how I really want to use it, and I think a few of the things might want to change a little bit. I want to add a few other little bits and pieces. And I think overall, relatively happy with it, but I reckon I can make it go that next level, and I want it to actually look mint. Now, I don't really know where to start on this, but I do know that I need to get everything out of here, see what I got, see what I got to get rid of, see what I want to add, and yeah, just kind of work out how I sort of go about it from there. So yeah, stay tuned, and let's see where this takes us. All right, I'll start off with the elephant in the room, or the blue thing behind me. So I have pulled the engine out of the SS, sitting over there in a few pieces, getting it rebuilt, doing a bit of a build on this. Not too sure if I am going to put it in this channel, or I might make another channel for all that sort of car related stuff. I don't know, let me know in the comments below what you reckon I should do. So that's one thing that I've got to work out, how I can make it a bit easier to work on cars in here, because at the minute it's kind of a bit too dusty to be doing that sort of stuff. When I'm working on timber, I've got to roll the car out. Anyway, I don't know. But, I've got parts and stuff that I need places for, kind of just, a bit scattered on the mechanical stuff. I think I've relatively got all the timber sort of working well, I think, but when it comes to storage of new tools and pulling down old parts and cleaning them and all that sort of stuff, I'm a bit light on. So I'm going to concentrate on maybe getting that sort of stuff sorted. And yeah, the other sort of stuff is just general sort of storage. Everything gets a bit dusty, so I might be looking at getting maybe some doors on these overhead cupboards. I'm going to add some more storage underneath the tops back here, and then that brings me to the tops themselves. So I've been pulling down parts back here, and obviously being just a timber top, the oil just soaks straight in, so it's not ideal. I know it's just a workshop, but if it's something that's easy to clean, it'd be a bit better long term. So work out something different for these bench tops. And I do have this other issue of this car was washed before it came in here, and all this dust and leaves and stuff comes in from the ridge. There's a gap in the ridge capping and the roof sheets, so on a real windy day, leaves just go flying in straight through there. So I've got to sort that out. I do have a little bit of an echo in here, so that's more of a filming thing, so I'll have to sort of sort that out. It just makes it a bit easier for me to edit later. And the colour. I don't know if I want to stick with this sort of black and timber sort of look theme, or go something a little bit, a little bit out of the ordinary. So what I might do is draw this up on the computer, play around with some colours, and go from there. So first, I'm going to strip this joint, see what I've got, and go from there. Righto, so what I'm doing here is I'm just taking everything off the top of this little mezzanine, pulling everything off the shelves. I just want to visually see what I've got to deal with, and so I can work through all this stuff, throw out what I have just collected over the years that just does not need to be here. And yeah, so this will give me an idea of what I've got and what I need to allow for in the new design. So enjoy. Righto, got everything out so I can see it. Now I'll just take some photos, a few measurements so I know what I'm dealing with. So I'm gonna head inside, start drawing this up. Wish me luck. Righto, so let's just start off with pretty much how the shed is at the moment. So on the left here as you come in, got that little mezzanine sort of thing on that side. So that pretty much just stores all my forward driving and camping stuff, so I wouldn't mind adding to that a bit. And then in the middle, obviously I've just pretty much just got that blank wall. Got to sort of do something about that. On the right is pretty much the workshop side of things. So we've got obviously that mezzanine that sort of wraps all the way around. We've got open shelves, couple of drawers, but everything else is pretty open. So anytime I'm doing any cutting for timber or anything like that, everything that is in these open shelf areas just gets absolutely covered with dust, so it's not ideal. And obviously up the top as well with all those open shelves, so that all just gets caked with dust. I've also got this aluminium track thing that I was sort of thinking was going to be good, but it's honestly not. So I'm going to give that the flick, do something a little different. So yeah, that's kind of where it's sitting at the moment. So let's open up my other model where I've built up what I'm proposing to do. So this is the new Hack TV workshop. So first thing you'll see straight off the bat is I've obviously added a bit of a color scheme to the shed now. So wanted something a little bit different, something to give it a bit of pop. So I've added these, you know, shades of grey and dark grey throughout. Now I guess I'll just sort of start on the left here and I'll work our way around. So I've obviously kept that little mezzanine section, and I've just shown a few items that I sort of want to store in this area. So this area is dedicated to my forward driving and camping sort of stuff. So up top I've just got things like my swag, eskies, a few jerry cans up there, and then underneath I've added a few things. So added this little cupboard on the wall here and little bench with some slimline drawers underneath. So all this is floating on that back wall there, so it's all mounted along the wall, so I didn't have to have any uprights coming down to the ground, so it keeps it all open to the floor. And yeah, so that cupboard, it will just store just stuff that I just sort of want to hide away and not get dust on it. And then on the back here I've added a solid shelf which will hold my swag stretcher and my camp chair, just so they're a bit more accessible to get to quickly and easily. So they'll live up there. And then along this back wall I've added a split batten system. So this is just pretty much a strip of timber cut on a 45, so I can make whatever bracket or little shelf thing or anything that I want that'll just sit in that little 45. And yeah, I'll just make whatever. So at the minute I'm just showing like my little solar blanket sitting there, my tackle box, my fishing stuff, and a few max tracks sitting on the back there. So I can make whatever I want for this thing, and they can all move along as they need as I go and work out what I really want to put back there. So a little bit versatile and yeah, pretty easy to do. So that's sort of that little corner done. And then we'll move across here. I have continued on that little bench across there, so there's not going to be a lot of weight on these things, so just sort of put a little 45 on there that'll mount into the frame, so that'll sort of support the middle, and then either side will be supported straight through the sort of nib walls that I got there. So keep those nice and shallow as well, just so I can back the cars right up if I want to.
So that's why they're only sitting at about 400, 450. I can't remember what I did now. And then this back wall is pretty much the same apart from adding the TV on that back wall. Got my Hack TV logo, so I want to make a bit of a light box with the logo on it, so that'll be a fun little project, so we'll see how I go with that. And then I've got my ladder that's already there now, and I've just moved my little platform onto this side, so that'll move to that location, because as we move across there I've used that space for something else. So I've continued these split buttons across here. Whether I actually do that or not is another question, but I think that'll just be something I'll work out as I do it. But the idea is I can make even little shelves and stuff just to store anything up there. So this will pretty much be a wall of just random stuff that I've collected over the years, or just sort of display and, you know, all that sort of good stuff. So nothing too workshop related there, but that's just more of a aesthetic thing on that side. So as we move across this side, as you can see, I've added doors to everything. So I was just sick of all the dust of all the open shelves and stuff that I had before, so I am not going to have that problem anymore. So all the overhead shelves, I've just put some doors on, and underneath I've kept those drawers that I already had, and I've just added some cupboard doors to all the open shelves underneath. And then the only different one would be this little section here, so that's going to be like a bit of a big drawer that'll come out, and that'll store like heaps of like aerosol cans and paints and all that sort of stuff in there, so they're easily accessible and low for me to get because I'm a bit of a short ass. The rest of the workbenches, apart from this one here, will be pretty much painted or something along those lines. This one is going to be a little bit different. So this is the area that I will keep for my mechanical sort of stuff, and to alleviate any oil staining and stuff like that, I'm going to get a stainless steel bench made up for this section, so it makes it a bit easier for me to clean, and you know, I don't have to worry about oil soaking into the timber. So that's going to be that bench top there. Underneath this little portion here, I'm going to put a little bar fridge so I can store a few cold frothies, and I'll put a little drawer underneath so any cans or whatever that don't fit in the fridge can just be stored under there. And then moving along this back wall here, just got a few jack stands that I'll make a mount for to sit on that wall, but this area will pretty much stay open for anything that I'm sort of working on that I want to sort of push out of the way, or if I get a motorbike again later, I'll just probably store that there. And then I've just added a little fan up the top there, so that's that sort of side there. And I think I forgot to mention what I'm doing on this side. So I've also continued that split button wall over to here, and I've just pretty much just added all the things on the wall that I don't really care that gets dusty. So things like sash clamps, levels, and you know, set squares and all that sort of stuff, chisels, tape measures. I'll have some like screwdrivers and files and stuff down there, and yeah, I've got a bit of leftover room for whatever else I feel like putting up there. So that's that. Another cupboard on this side for anything that I want to store in there, and that is pretty much it. So the only other thing that I haven't mentioned is up the top here. So I've put in a few of these, like, I guess you can call them like acoustic baffles or whatever. They're pretty much just simple frame just wrapped in fabric. So I'll leave these to last, I reckon. I'll just sort of see how the shed sounds after I do all these other works, and yeah, I'll see if I've still got that little bit of echo in there, because at the moment it just takes me a bit of effort to edit the videos. So there you go, that is the new design for the workshop this year. Now, I've got a bit of work to do, obviously got a lot of cleaning now, but I think that's where I'm going to leave it for this episode.
Now, if you got any ideas, be sure to leave them in that comment section below. Any idea is a good idea in my opinion. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you're keen to see this new design come to life, be sure to hit that subscribe button, maybe the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future episodes. But until we get started on the build, keep having a crack. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.